Does anyone smell something? Stink rays, everyone. The gaseous, smelliest mobs in all of Don't Starve history. These not-so-vicious beasts are quite possibly one of the most annoying things to encounter on the high seas as well. However, you might actually be surprised that while they most certainly deal it, we don't actually have to stand there and smell it. Also, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that folk out there don't even know how these bloody things actually work when it comes to their spawning habits and all that. So I say, let's start there, yes. Yes, and we will begin with the obvious fact that stink rays can only spawn in medium oceans, the depths beyond the light blue of the shallows and the ones before the very distinguishable dark tones of the deep ocean. Their spawns are 100% random per world, so who is to say how many stink ray pods you'll actually encounter and where they will be, but I would expect plenty regardless. Sure, we might get pods spawning on the literal edges of medium oceans, meaning that they will easily bleed into territory they aren't meant to be in, but as far as the pods themselves, they can only generate in specific depths. Period. That is, come a certain time and day at least. For you see, stink rays and their pods are 100% non-existent for the first 5 to 10 days of a world. Seriously, if you were able to see an entire map from day one, you would notice not a single map icon for these things. The game will not stagger their spawns either, which leads to situations where our oceans go from having literally no stink to them at all to having dozens upon dozens of farting sea life literally everywhere in the blink of an eye. And this is what could lead to many early sea basers having an absolute headache come day 5 to 10 for sure. So make notes. But yes, these stink ray pods and all that nonsense. What's their deal once we actually do see them? Well, they're pretty simple actually, as each pod will consist of 6 stink rays at most, and said stink rays will swim every which way to Sunday until disturbed. And you can tell it's a stink ray given their unique underwater shadows, of course. But these stink rays can roam pretty far as you can see, so be mindful there, as they are the type of mob where if one is disturbed, they are all made aware of the quote-unquote danger. As yes, they are technically hostile creatures, and will aggro onto us unprovoked. Now, said aggro can be very, very finicky at times, so I honestly don't even know what to detail about it other than that occasionally they don't aggro onto us at all. Then again, I've also had them aggro from what feels like a mile away. So yeah, it's pretty strange. What's also very strange is that sometimes these sea rays will circle us like basilisks and do literally nothing. Now, should you go into every encounter expecting stuff like this to happen? No, of course not. Thing is, however, stingrays aren't that dangerous either at the end of the day. They have but one attack, folks. They're poisonous farts. That's it. They have no melee and no other damage dealers to their name. Yeah, sure, poison can suck if it comes early, or at a bad time with some low health or something, but compared to all the rest that you have to deal with in these games, and all other group mod potentials, stingrays are a joke. Especially when one could just simply skedaddle away before anything bloody happens, of course. Bear in mind, though, that stingrays do follow for quite some time compared to other mobs, so you're not always out of the woods, if you know what I mean. So with all that said, how do we abuse the system and turn these stinky mobs into useful loot? Well, I suppose that we could be completely negating their one and only attack at the end of the day with help of a particulate purifier here, so either bug or trawl net a live jelly and get the crafting one yourself. As particulate purifiers protect against airborne poisons in Solo Don't Starve, as does the gas mask of Don't Starve Hamlets. So you actually do have two choices, depending on which experience you actually began with, of course. But get either, and you will never ever have to bother with these farts ever again. But you know who never has to bother with any poison ever? Well, besides the poison rainforest in Hamlet, but that's a whole bloody thing. WX-78. WX has an absolutely huge advantage over poisonous mobs because they simply cannot be poisoned. So you smell that? Nope, nothing. Good stuff. But Beard, how do we actually kill these things and why should we care? Well, to be honest, I have nothing special for you for that former question, as stingrays are so bloody easy to kill with their 50 health, slow attack times, and our ability to actually hit them while they're still in the water, that I would suggest just rolling up to a pod and just decimating it yourself. Nothing fancy. And heck, eliminate their gas, and it's even easier for Pete's sake. Do be mindful of their respawn timers, however, as they're quite fast for sure. A dead stinkray will respawn in a mere minute, but only one ray can spawn from one pod at a time. Therefore, the second stinkray will only pop up a minute after the first one has already been out, while the third will arrive a minute after that, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. It's a bottleneck for sure, but remember now, some pods are really close to one another out there. But now, that second question, why care? Well, we care because stingrays are by far the best, most efficient mob at providing venom glands in all of Don't Starve, Shipwrecked, and Hamlet combined at 33% per ray. Now, scorpions are a close second when it comes to poisonous mobs dropping these things, and poisonous holes are by far the best chances out there, but both of those are far more dangerous options, I feel. But venom glands here are very useful in curing poison if we digest it ourselves, making stuff to cure poison so we don't have to do that, making ourselves poisonous weapons, of course, and even making money in Hamlet if you do so choose. So yeah, I think it's a worthy price to pay for a fart in the face now and then. Enjoy it if you're into that sort of thing. But one last note here. Stingrays are active at all times out there on the high seas, so remain vigilant, folks. The farts are in the dark. But there you have it, everyone. A guide all about the butts of stingrays within Don't Starve, Shipwrecked. And all I'll say is plug your nose. Thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all, whomever smelt it, dealt it, and I will see ya in the next one. Bye-bye.